Hello. So today we are going to see a very interesting problem which comes in your grade 8 and it comes a lot in your competitive exams. So your grade 8, 9, 10 plus your competitive exams, your bank exams, etc. So the question goes something like this. I've written a simple question which is generally when you have the competitive exams, it's more of the objective type of questions. So you have questions which are in this particular format where you will be given that a particular tank is there and that tank can be filled by a tap say 12 hours. Here I've taken 12 hours to fill the entire tank. There is another one tap which is at the bottom which will basically empty the entire tank in say X number of hours. Here I've given 18 hours. Question asked mostly is if both these taps are kept open, how much of the time will it take for the tank to be filled? Remember, you have one particular tap which is filling the tank in 12 hours and the other tap which is emptying the tank in 18 hours. So how do we tackle these kind of questions? So it's very simple. So this is the question for you to see clearly. So for these kind of questions, let me take you to the basics. So I have drawn a few of these pictures for you to understand. So you have a tap at the top of the tank. When you open the tap, it actually fills the entire tank in 12 hours. So I've drawn a certain kind of schematic representation for you to understand. So here you have, in the first case, you have a tap and that is actually filling the tank. So if you can see the picture here, you have a tap on top and it is filling the tank down below and it is taking X hours. For example, if it is taking X hours, then in 1 hour it will fill 1 by X of the tank. So you can see that if it is filling it in X hours, the entire tank, it takes in 1 hour it will be able to fill 1 by X of the tank. For example, if a tap is filling that particular tank in say 10 hours, in 1 hour it will fill 1 by 10th of the tank. If it takes say 50 hours to fill the entire tank, then in 1 hour it fills 1 by 50th of the tank. That's very simple. Now let's look at the case 2 scenario where it is emptying the entire tank. Look at the next case where I've written it in blue. Here you have, if there is another tap, remember the tap is at the bottom as I've drawn here. It takes say Y hours to empty the tank. Remember, this particular tap is emptying the tank. So if it takes Y hours to empty the tank, then in 1 hour it will empty 1 by Y of the tank. So the same thing holds good whether it is filling or whether it is emptying. If it takes so many number of hours to empty the entire tank, then it will empty the tank in 1 hour. It will be 1 by that particular number of hours that you've taken. For example, if you have taken say 12 hours to empty the tank completely, then in 1 hour it will empty 1 by 12th of the tank. So now the next scenario is if both these taps are kept open. So you have the tap A which is filling it in X hours, the entire tank will get filled in X hours. You have the bottom tap which will empty the entire tank in Y hours. If I'm going to keep both these taps open, how much time will it take for the entire tank to be filled? Could be a possible question, which is what I showed you earlier on. So in that scenario, look at the case 3 here. You have the first tap which is filling the entire tank, it takes X hours. The bottom tap, it empties the entire tank in Y hours. Then in 1 hour, you will have 1 by X minus 1 by Y of the tank being filled, or 1 by Y minus 1 by X of the tank being filled, depending on which is the greater one. So you have to always keep this case scenario. And remember that if both the taps are open, it will be 1 by X minus 1 by Y or 1 by Y minus 1 by X, depending on the number of hours, whichever is greater. So now let us look at the question which we have come back to. So here, this is the question where we say that the first tap, it takes 12 hours to fill up the tank, and the second tap, it takes 18 hours to empty the full tank. both the taps are kept open, and then how much of the time will it take to complete the entire tank? Will it be 30 hours? Options are given. You have the 30, 40, 36, 42 hours, etc. and you have to do it. So how do we do it? Let's look at the working now. But you have understood the concept that if it is x hours, in 1 hour it will be 1 by x of the tank either being filled or being emptied, depending on what the question is. So let's work this stepwise now. So let's look at this possibility. Here we have tap which is filling it in 12 hours and the bottom tap is emptying the entire tank in 18 hours. If both the taps are open, remember we said it is 1 by x minus 1 by y. So we have 1 by 12 minus 1 by 18. Because in 1 hour it will fill 1 by 12th of the tank, and in 1 hour it will empty 1 by 18th of the tank. So ultimately how much is being filled is 1 by 12 minus 1 by 18. So let's look at what is the LCM of 12 and 18. We see that the LCM is 36. So let's place 36 as the LCM. 12 will go in 36 3 times. So multiply the numerator by 3. 1 into 3 is 3 minus 18 will go in 36 2 times. So multiply the numerator with 2. So it is 3 minus 2 is 1 by 36. Which means in 1 hour, 1 by 36th of the tank is filled up. Which means it takes 36 hours to fill the entire tank, and that is the correct answer. Extremely simple. Remember the steps that I had given you earlier on. Just remember that and follow, and you will get the answer in just a few minutes. And these kind of questions are definitely coming in all your competitive exams. So make sure you practice these. Good luck.